working on transitioning this greenhouse, which you can see I've got insulation on it. I got all sorts. Going to be rearranging some stuff to get ready for basically spring, summer operations. So in order to do that, I got to pull a bunch of stuff out. I've got to get the insulation down, and then rearrange some stuff. So it's going to be a busy day today. Lots to do. Should take me a while. So excited to have you all here. Any questions, just hit me up in the chat. So with that, just kind of getting started with this spot here. Maybe what I'm going to do is I'll give you guys the view from this way. I think it's going to be a better view. We'll plant you guys. Yes, that pun was intended. We'll plant you back here, and you'll be able to see me take. But for now, it needs to come out. They said over here. A lot of it is just going to be getting stuff organized outside too, but I want to be able to get all of this down, so that way I can start getting my windows open, basically the vents open during the day, because we're going to start getting into the 70s, 70s-ish, even up into the 80s on some of these days coming up soon as it goes back and forth. So, and I want to have some wind coming in here. Then in the evening, I can again close it down, and my heater does a good enough job keeping this thing around 40 degrees, but we're supposed to be, the lows are only supposed to be getting down into the 40s here for the next couple of weeks or so. So all this insulation, this can all go. I'm not too worried about that, because the external temperature, yeah, we're still going to have some mornings that are going to be down in the down near freezing or below, but my heater does a good job on all those things, so keeping us there. So it's time to start bringing all this stuff down. Now, a lot of this insulation I'll be saving back to reuse next year. Some of it in a different way, though. I have a video coming up here in probably in a couple weeks, where I'm going to start actually adding insulation around basically the lower portions here, and then up the sides, along with some OSB, so I can turn this into, my goal is to have this be set up for year-round greenhouse. So basically, everywhere we see where there's insulation on this side, it's going to be covered with our solid foam and OSB to kind of give us a layer. Basically almost, it's going to bring it out about this far. It's a little more cramped in here. But the idea is I want to have insulation as much as I can around the sides. And on here, during the wintertime, this is the only spot that really gets any light coming through. So have solid foam, basically foam insulation all the way around. And then during and then set something up. So same thing here during the winter months, I basically just have this blocked off as well. Just have this one area where stuff comes in, and I can control the temperature and the way all that stuff is managed through there. So I have my bag for these, but for now, we're just going to toss them in one of these as we take stuff down. Yeah, so first things first, just kind of getting insulation off of here as we go. It's going to have a huge hit on, and I'm not worried about the temperatures getting too low here. So this is a good, obviously this is a good test to see how this worked for us here. And overall, I'm pretty happy with how the insulation did this year. It was pretty good in the greenhouse. I only had one time where the heater wasn't able to keep up with this insulation. And the reason that happened is because the breaker clicked at the house. So, all things considered, we were moving in the right direction. I'm going to go and grab something real quick. Be right back. All right, I'm back now. Y'all can hear me well. Got to get a box for my insulation. I forgot to grab one. Let's make sure this is green. Run. Sure we're good. Okay, looks like we're up in. I got a green light, so we got that thing. Microphone's working. So as well, I just got a box for my installation out there. Make it easier for storage. So yeah, this went pretty well. I'm pretty happy over here. Like I said, all things considered, provided a nice little bit of, blocked up some areas. But like I said, I want to start letting more light in here as well, as they got to start getting used to all these plants. They got to start getting used to that direct light coming up. So yeah, it's the joys of having a greenhouse and doing these things. You get the opportunity to work on these things and spend time here. So appreciate y'all stopping by. Check this out. I'm gonna see if I can help them pull up to full power there. Yeah, coming by to check this out. There is a video that I do have, a long form one, if you want to see the process for putting up this this bubble wrap. It was never meant to be a long-term solution. It was simply just here to make sure that I had some insulation just to get me through the late winter, early spring, just because of the amount of what I was growing in here. So if you guys can see, it's got a few things going, but along the back side over here, I've got a ton of flowers going. Over here, I got more flowers going. My mom wanted me to do some of my other flowers, more flowers, and now I'm getting my tomatoes and other stuff. So, tomatoes, as we all know, they like a lot of sun. So we're gonna start hooking them up with that. Same thing with my cucumbers. The flowers don't mind the diffused light. Frankly, it helps them as they're getting going once they're up. But now everybody's at a spot where they're going to need more and more direct sunlight. And, we're getting towards that time of year where direct sunlight is definitely something that we're going to have a bunch of here in northern Michigan. So I want to basically maximize as much as I can. But this was good this winter too. It was really nice being out here. I had multiple, and if this is your first time joining the stream, multiple live events. We were just out here working in the greenhouse while it's like 20 degrees outside and it's a balmy 60 inside here, which again, just for my seasonal depression, which we all get here in Michigan, made all the difference in the world. You know what I mean? Just be able to come out here and get some rays, get a little vitamin D. All right, so that side's there. This one's done. All right, so just start taking this guy down in sections. Again, this is always just temporary. I'm keeping this because for next year, as I'm going into the winter, I'll be putting more the insulation back up here. I'm going to make basically a rig that I can use, that I can put up and hoist up. I think is what I'm going to do, hoist it up here, just secure it during the nighttime. Basically, during the day, have it open so the sun will come down, but basically when it's time for the evening time to come, I just want to be able to do that spot. The other spot is I've got to start getting these vents open a little bit more. I want to move all my plants out here now before I do any more. Anyways, I want to be able to get my vents open so we can get some air circulating in here, so my plants can get their they can toughen up their stems at the moment. They're pretty, no one's leggy, no one has any issues. And I've had my fan going in here for a month now during the day just to help solidify everyone. But if I can do it without having to basically run the fan, that's preferable. So like I said, just saving all this up. This will go down in the crawl space, and I'll break it out next year. So all right, so the next piece on here is I'm going to start moving my basically my flowers, my vegetables. You can see down here I've got a whole bunch of, I've got cucumbers and tomatoes and lavender and zucchini. I got squash over here, but when I get all this stuff basically from one side out of here, and then just kind of do it in stages, I move everything out. And then we'll be rearranging the greenhouse to move. Basically, shelves are going to be swapping positions so that they're getting more sunlight directly like that. So that's the plan. We will see how it goes as it goes with every single Ryan Howe production. You can always count on a shift, like a change midstream. It just kind of happens with me. Like, you know what? I changed my mind. I'd rather do it this way. And then we go do it that way. All right. So I'm just going to take this up here. The guy's going to fit out, so I'm going to have to break all this down. All right. No worries. Some trash here. I hope everybody's having a good Friday. Or, you know, having a great Friday, however you want to say it. Things here are going pretty well. Like I said, I'm getting to spend some time out here in the greenhouse. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Organizing all this stuff. Had a whole bunch of client calls this morning, which I don't normally do client calls on Fridays. It's research, so did get a chance. If you follow me on my subscribe here. Typically Monday through Friday, I do a live stream in the morning called Small Business News. I'm a business coach by trade. Today I didn't do one because I had client calls, and then in the afternoons, when I have time or when I'm doing something, I'll be out here in the greenhouse and I'll stream live just like this on Shorts. So if you subscribe, which I hope to earn your subscription today, you hit that notification bell and it'll let you know when I come live, and you get to see, this old dude basically spending quality time out in the greenhouse. I mean, it's pretty fun. We usually end up with a decent sized crew of folks hanging out with me. Eventually they all kind of come on at different times, especially on Fridays. It's just a little different. So, whew, man, this is going to be a toasty one. I think we're supposed to be upwards of 70 today. So definitely want to get this thing rolling so I can get these vents popped over here. Get some of this heat out. Matter of fact, while I'm right here, let's undo this guy. Actually, that one I want to keep. I think it's that one I want to keep. I think this is the one I want to open up here. Yeah, this one. And do this one. Oh, wait, no, I don't have the hoozy for that one. Okay, never mind. That's right. It is the other one that I wanted. Tighten those two up. With this guy right here. It's cool. There we go. This last one, there we go. Come on, guys. Let's keep it up. There we go. Let a little bit of there we go. Let some of that temperature out of here. Whew. It is toasty today. Where did I put those cups at? This. Come on, Ryan. Get it together. You guys didn't happen to see where I left it, did you? I'm sure it's around. Well, I need to find that little cup because that's got all my little clips in it. I want to make sure I don't have multiple cups with clips running on. There we go. See, put it exactly where I wouldn't lose it. Go me. All right. Get these guys out of here. These are my cucumbers. Just kind of start working these folks over towards the garden here. Again, I've got my garden is over here. So we're just basically on the north side of my garden. I put my greenhouse here specifically because along this edge over here, the north side of my garden, I have where I put all I do mammoth, the mammoth gray stripe sunflowers, along with some of the the autumn color ones, where I end up, this is a mammoth gray stripe. I just started them a little early to see how we do, but they're 15 foot high. So what they do is they're going to cast a lot of shadows on the greenhouse here, because I'll be starting all my mums and then all my get a head start on all my fall stuff too. So my brassicas, they're not trying to be in all that like direct sunlight and stuff. So it's going to give me all the shade I need. But during the springtime, where I want a bunch of sun coming in here to get everything rolling, like with my tomatoes, no sunflowers, lots of sun. So, I mean, that's the theory. Then during the wintertime, everything's down. So, I got tons and tons and tons of sun. All right, so these are my tomatoes. These are 2 different types of slicers. Where's these tomatoes? They got, I can tell where that one day where I had the insulation didn't do its job. Or I'm sorry, the insulation did fine. When the power came off to the heater, you can just see a couple spots, a little wiltage on those tomatoes, but they did okay. They made it through. Super proud of them. They toughed it out. All right. Let's see. And then I got lavender here that I picked up from one of the box stores. So this is for the missus. She likes lavender, so I'll be growing a bunch of this so she can have her lavender. Getting that set up, that's a perennial. So for me, it's just a matter of finding the right spot for it. Because it's not a small plant. It gets pretty big. Smells really nice. Almost smells like lavender. Then let's get this stuff out the door since I'm here, right? Yeah, so that's going to be something going on for our next. I definitely have a full stream. I might even do a long form video, which I do some of those, but man, I just like these live streams better. Get on here, get to chat with people. Last Friday, as a matter of fact, I was out hunting morel mushrooms, which I scored a solid 40 of those. If you ever want to see that live stream, it's up. It's I didn't realize how bad the video was transmitting, but we ended up with, I don't know, I probably had close to 60 people on that stream. Multiples of 15 on at any one time. It was pretty cool. We were all just chatting up and getting educated on mushroom hunting and stuff. So, I also got some rosemary that I'm growing out here too. Again, that's a perennial. I'm gonna find a nice spot for that. Get that squared away. One other thing I do, which again you'll see around here, is I store a lot of my plants in the larger tanks for water, so that way they can sit there. But it also adds humidity to the air, so it doesn't cool off as quickly at night. That's the other reason. Like in this case, this oh wow, there's 2 of them here. Man, I wish I would have remembered that. Could have used one of these. Anyways, so that way it doesn't the humidity lets it keeps it from drying or cooling off too quick, because nobody likes that. All right, so I'm gonna get these guys here. Another set of name tags, which I put over here. That's good. But yeah, so today is organizing greenhouse day, getting transitioned over to summertime operations, or summertime setup, I should say. It's just over here. All the installations coming down. Yeah, excited you decided to join me today. If you haven't been on one of the live streams before, I do this, I'll say every afternoon, but most afternoons you can find me here on the shorts. So if you haven't subscribed, hopefully earn your subscription today. But yeah, you can come check us out. Got gardening questions. We just got a group of folks on here where we chatting about gardening and other stuff that's going on, things that have going on the homestead. The other day I was had the opportunity, or had folks on while I was putting my new orchard in on the other side of the property. A whole host of fruit trees going in. That was a lot of fun. We were all just chatting about that. Had my neighbors stopping by, asking questions. They're always asking questions with what I'm doing. They're trying to figure out what Ryan's doing next. I'm always doing something out here. Again, though, this is just this is just your standard bubble wrap that you can order for shipping. Thing is, just keep in mind, like, this stuff is really only good for a season when you do it this way. So, you know, this is going to go up again. Frankly, just in one spot. It's going to be over here. I'm going to build up a rig for it. Because like I said, I'm going to harden out the rest of the shelter, the rest of the greenhouse, where I'm going to get insulation and some OSB around pretty much the whole spots here. So I can hopefully, fingers crossed, you know, with just running a little bit of heat out here, be able to have the full greenhouse, you know, going year round with just addition of some additional insulation, a little bit more rigidity to it. And I said that word right. Go me. You know, this is just a greenhouse kit that I got from Wayfair. It's a 6x6x16. But, you know, we have a blast in here as far as, like, you know, on the live streams in here, just kind of chatting up a storm while they're watching me do my work here. Yeah, I was saying, if you haven't been here for one of our live streams, they're a lot of fun. You know, at least for me, I enjoy them. Yeah, so today is all about getting this stuff squared away. Like I said, if you want to see the video of how I did this, as far as what it was to put the insulation up and to get it squared away, and kind of what it took to do it, best known practices, if you go to my channel page, you'll see a video on how to install the insulation in the greenhouse. So, all right, let's see what we're doing here. Get this guy. This guy. Oh, I love this time of year, though, where we're transitioning to, you know, not as many, well, getting away from those frosty evenings. I like cool evenings, don't get me wrong, but the frost just kind of slows everything down, you know? Like, we want stuff growing. Look at this stuff growing already. All right, there we go. Oh, a little breeze in here. Plants are all going to be happy. Going to have some wind blowing around them now. And that's the biggest thing too. You got to remember, if you have a greenhouse, you know, you don't want it to be a static environment. You got to have a fan blowing. And that's for your, you know, hey buddy. Okay. Let me get this one down first, and then you can come down. Didn't realize we were having gale force gusts today. Let me get that part taken care of. Let me close you up. Just for the moment. Put you back up here in a second. Okay, there we go. Which, those gusts aren't a problem. I just want to make sure that I've got all the insulation down. I don't want anybody basically raking over, you know, damaging any of my plants before they get a chance to get out in the sun and enjoy their best lives here. So, yeah, appreciate y'all stopping by. Check this out. This is a good day. Good day when we can get this insulation off and start moving towards summertime operations for the greenhouse. And I mean, it was a pretty hard freeze the other day. I think we were down to 24 degrees here. You know, we did just fine in the greenhouse here, but, you know, I can't help but always worried a little bit about my plants that I already have out, because I've got peas, I know, peas and carrots, right? Radishes. I've got my lettuce. All my brassicas are out, different types. The thing I shouldn't worry, but I will, because they love the cold. They don't care. You know, they're good to 20 degrees. The brassicas, you know, when they initially germinate, they want to be a little bit warmer, so I started them in here. But as soon as they had their second set of real leaves, you know, the actual leaves for the plant, I put them out there. So they were out in that chilliness that was happening. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up now. There we go. Pop you over here. It ain't going nowhere. Okay. So yeah, it was great. They did just fine. I checked on them that morning here was like, you know, warm and toasty. Well, I'm not gonna say warm and toasty. It was 5 degrees inside, but all right. So these are my zucchinis. I'll show you my zucchinis here. Got these guys started right here. See the zucchini doing pretty well here. Same thing here. You can see they get a little cold down on the edges there. You can see they got a little bit of wilt around them from. It did get cold down in certain areas here, but you know they did just fine. A little cold hardiness ain't gonna hurt them none. You know, it doesn't kill them, makes them stronger type of stuff, especially when it comes to ants and dealing with the frost and stuff. So they did all right. All right, now this is one guy I'm excited to get out in the actual breeze here to see how he holds up, because he's lived a very sheltered life in here so far. So we're gonna pop you right here. Hopefully, we'll provide just a little bit of help for you. Got him kind of propped up in between a couple of the tomatoes, because my tomatoes are staked, so they're fine. Here I've got these are Mexican sunflowers. These grow into like 5 to 7 foot tall bushes. They're pretty big around, big old red flowers on them. I don't say big old red. I think they're like 4 inches in diameter. These are going to go all around the property. It's going to look pretty nice. I had a few people ask me on the stream about, you know, what was like my, as far as being on here, like the costs for everything that you have. And, you know, it's one of the things that a lot of this stuff I've already had. It was saved up here, but some of the items here, you know, obviously have to pick up. But the greenhouse was a little over $600. And then this, let's see, if you look like right now, I've got 3 trays of marigolds. Those are free. We got those last year from deadheading a bunch of flowers. So, you know, there's that. I've had the cell kits, the cells that you grow them in. I've had these for a while. These guys are doing good. Excited for them to be out here, get some sun. They're gonna be pretty happy. Yeah, so those are looking pretty good. Gonna go here. I'm gonna sweep this all out too, clean this whole area up. It's gonna be a full cleaning day today. My wife is gonna be so ecstatic. Like, Ryan, you cleaned. That's what she'll be saying. I'm like, I did. That'll be the end of the conversation, but you know, we'll at least have that conversation. It'll be fun. All right. But yeah, this is nice being able to get in here and, you know, again, like saying with all my, like the marigolds that we had, here's the whole set of them. These are all planted now a month and a half ago. They've been just living their best life here, getting ready to grow. They'll be ready to transplant here in a few weeks, which is fine. Again, if the weather if we weren't so iffy about we were going to have another frost here, you know, they'd be ready to go out now. They're more than developed. These are ones that I'm definitely need to get out. I get some sun. These hollyhocks, they need to get out and get some sun. They're doing pretty good. They just take a while to get rolling. And these hollyhocks are they're perennial, but they only flower after the 2nd year. So they're going to go in. We're going to look at a bunch of green plant, and the next year I'll have flowers. All right, so here's these guys. Yep, do that about every time too. So hopefully you guys saw that. All right. The other piece that goes like in the saving kit is all the insulation that I keep. Anytime I'm doing seed starting, like you can see over here, right here. So you'll see I have insulation underneath these. On top of them are my warming pads, my warming mats. So I've got insulation, warming mats, and then here, these are petunias and impatiens on this side. So what that does is it basically makes sure all the heat goes up into the plant, you know, basically into the plant that you want. So, you know, during Christmas time and everything, we always get a whole bunch of, you know, whatever the hell we're buying. Keep your insulation if you want to do this, especially if you're going to have basically warming mats for seed starting. They definitely help out your warming mats, because they're trying to do their thing, and if it's, you know, they're fighting against the cold from underneath, you're basically just heating up nothing. So now those warming mats too, they're really great on the days where the heater doesn't kick on, right? It'll be down to, I have my heater set to turn on at 40 degrees. And on those days where it doesn't hit 40 degrees, you know, where it's 45, 46, the heating mats are keeping everybody, you know, nice and warm, you know, around 60 degrees or so on the mats itself, which is good stuff. All right. So these three. Still going to need these for a little while. Do I have any left? Let me see. Sorry, just going for a quick walk here to look at something. I do. Look at that. I got enough. Well. That isn't something. So I'm just going to swap these out with 2x4s. I may be doing a little bit of extra work today besides the greenhouse. So I thought I had, for some reason, if you had seen my any of my videos that I've done so far as working out in my garden on my tomato trellises, I had thought I ordered enough of the 2x3s, like here. These are studs, 2x3s that I ordered in order to make my trellises for out in the garden. I ended up being 4 short, which, right, mathed it out. I'm like, man, that doesn't seem right. Well, I forgot I put 3 of them down here, basically for shelving. And then I got another one that was hanging out hidden back there. So today I'm probably going to be able to finish up my my tomato trellises too. We'll take a look at those in a little bit. Probably once we get everything out, we'll go for a little garden tour, kind of show you what I've been working on. If you haven't been on the stream before, yeah, try to keep everything organized in the garden. But this is the time of year also where you're supposed to be, you know, getting stuff ready and prepped to get stuff in the ground, or get stuff in the ground, that everything you can get in the ground, get it in the ground. I hope that made sense. I think it did. Let's want this out. These 2 out. I want this out of there. Let's see, that there. That there. Okay, that. Sorry, just talking to myself, trying to make sure I stay organized on this stuff. These gloves go there. That tool goes there. Okay. You know, the other thing too, when you do these shifts, these reorganization, is that you give a chance to make sure that the number of critters that you have moved in during the winter months is at a minimum, because they do move in, and you don't want that to necessarily be a thing long term. You know, you mind if they come in and they hang out for a minute, but we don't make shelters for pets around here. Man, tighten up the old belt here. Working out too much, getting thin on me. I got to get a little chunkier again. My stuff isn't going to fit me right anymore. Not trying to buy a whole new, get a whole new wardrobe, to use the language. So, okay, we're doing pretty good here. Hope everybody kind of enjoys the stream here. If watching an old dude clean his greenhouse is a thing for you, that's awesome. I'm glad you're here. If it isn't, I think you'll grow to appreciate it. Because I'm here specifically when we get the crew in here, we start chatting away. It's actually a lot of fun, have some pretty good conversations, solving the world's gardening problems and everything. All right. Oh, this is looking so much better already. Better as in I can feel it getting more organized. I'm going to use those for that. This guy. So I have some transplanting I have to do today, which is going to be pretty significant transplanting going on today. So I've got a lot of my plants that have been in here for a minute. It's time for them to move into a larger container so that they can they need their roots to grow out, so they're not getting stunted in their growth. Okay, let's get these here. But this year I'm going to have all sorts of stuff growing all over in the greenhouse during the summer months too. As in, you saw a couple of things, but I had my cucumbers, my zucchini already started. this whole wall is going to be covered with, or maybe this side actually is all just going to be covered with zucchini and cucumbers and all the good stuff. So, which will be exciting. It'll be a lot of fun. So I thought I had, well, I had a mouse in here, came in and ate some of my cucamelons, but it only ate the first round of seeds. I had a couple extra seedlings in there that have since popped up here in the cucamelon world. So I am going to have all sorts of cucamelons this year, which I'm excited about. And this is my oregano right here. These smell so good. If you don't grow herbs, you are missing out. That's all I can really tell you. They are, yeah, they're easy to grow for the most part. Most herbs started out life as a weed that just happened to be tasty to us. So they like to grow a lot. So definitely something to consider when you're thinking about things to grow. You know, consider doing doing different like herbs and whatnot. So these are all petunias. They're my second round of petunias. Here's my first round of petunias. You can see them right here, where their cups started feeling good, and again, also impatiens on that side. So a lot of petunias. They're really good for the pollinators because of how much they're constantly kicking off getting new flowers. So there's always fresh flowers for the pollinators to come get. Here's these guys. Let them come out and get some, get a little breeze on them. That's the big piece here. Oh yeah, you can just, everyone's turning towards the sun. That's funny. Like everyone, they're all like, hey, direct sunlight. Thank you, friend. They're all excited at the moment. My San Marzano tomatoes. I have all sorts of these up. Wait for the rest to pop up. I was hoping I was going to get more viable seeds out of that packet, and I did not get as many viable seeds as I expected. So that's interesting. Not sure what to make of that at the moment, but actually we're going to make sure these two stick around. Shoot them out, but I want these right by the door so I don't forget about them. These are going to be my covers for my vents in the evening. Basically, I'm going to come back through and pop covers over these vents just to help keep the temperature in here for the overnights. The impatiens are all doing good. The petunias are looking nice. They're looking nice and happy. Everybody. Oh, that's too funny. Like all the marigolds are like they're facing right at the sun. They must have been starving in here with this diffused light going on. One thing I got is some of these dwarf sunflowers. Got them right here. They're right here. They only grow to about this high, not very high, but they kick out a lot of flowers that are good for cut flowers that you can put up around the house. So we're gonna have those this year. That's gonna be pretty nice. Pretty much know what's in these. Johnny jump ups, and the ones didn't really make it. It's unfortunate, but it's okay. It's my first real year doing flowers at this, with this size, at this depth and breadth, the different types of flowers. So I'm not an expert in any way, shape, or form at getting flowers going. That's not my jam. But this year we were going to do it. So you see, I've been keeping an eye out. Had no visitors over the last couple days, so that's been nice. Hopefully, it appears they got the hint, which is good. Go somewhere else. Okay, so again, thank you. If you haven't been on the stream before, thanks for stopping by. It's good to see y'all. Again, my name's Ryan Howe. I just do some what's happening? Hey, what's up, 777? I'm actually getting my again, another returner here, so to the stream. So I'm transitioning my greenhouse from basically late winter, early spring operations to spring summer operations, which means getting all of this down and then moving my shelving over to this other side, so everyone's getting a bunch of direct sunlight. Because pretty much from here on out, it's a sprint. May's here next. This today, next week, right? May's here next week, so it's 2 to 3 weeks until I'm going to be until I'm going to be putting folks out in the garden. So that's the plan, and then that gets me into summer operations, which will be starting everybody up. Basically, all my late summer, getting my late summer items started. Basically, get them germinating and growing, so they'll be ready to go in around July, and then also starting basically in June, all of my late flowers they'll be ready to bloom basically in September, which means, again, I'm not a mums fan, but everyone here loves mums. My wife loves mums, so that means I'm growing a bunch of mums this year. So that's one of the things that's happening. That's the idea. Hopefully that was a clear enough explanation for you. I know I rambled there a little bit, but long story short, we're just getting ready to switch over to summertime. Because everything we have from here on out, like frost-wise, I should be able to manage just fine. I'm not too worried. Everyone's grown up to the point where they can deal with the low 30s, even like some high 20s. It's not gonna kill them. So that being said, we're still gonna have the mats out. That's gonna be a thing. I want to make sure that everyone still has their mats. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. Super exciting stuff on the stream. But this has worked out. This has been a good year though, again, with this greenhouse. It's done really well. Real happy with it. It's really set us up for success for this year. I mean, once I have everything out, I'll be able to show you guys this is laid out there. This is a significant amount of garlic. Yeah, so there's a garlic. It's going to do something. It's going to call bolting, B-O-L-T-I-N-G, like bolt. Basically, when you see it comes up, you're going to see this little curly Q looking thing, basically leaf kind of popping up in between your regular leaves. Tear that thing off. Just trust me on that. You can look into it more, but it basically will get you bigger garlic bulbs instead of what you end up with. Like when they do bolt, you end up with just basically smaller ones. So yeah, you see that little curly Q coming up. It's time to go ahead and pull that. All right, here's all this insulation. Good. This guy's set. But yeah, garlic. Yeah, and just make sure, obviously, make sure it stays in uncompacted, like the loose potting soil or soil that you have it. You just want to constantly be checking to make sure it doesn't get compacted, because that restricts the size of your garlic bulb too. It's the same thing with onions. If you ever decide to grow like onions, they've got to be in loose soil to get really big. So this is just a good day today. Yeah, I got to my client calls kind of early today, so I decided to come out here and get a head start on this, because this was the plan for today. Get this thing ready to go. Yeah, but yeah, it's gonna be real nice. I mean, it's a nice day out today. We got sun. We're gonna be up in the. I think we're gonna be 65 to 70 today. Something like that. That's an American thing. That's in freedom units here, not Celsius. So, a nice warm day for us here, especially springtime. It's still April here. Yeah, I was going to go out and go get some more morels, but this actually takes priority, so I got to get this done. Much rather just be stomping around in the woods looking for mushrooms, but it's okay. Good stuff today. Yeah, and then you guys can see the shelving is going to go over here, and then my other plants that I have, they're going to be just barely off the ground. My goal is I'm going to be basically setting up a network of almost like a crosshatch all the way across here. So my cucumbers, my zucchini, they can just kind of make their way up. The cucumbers for sure. Same thing for my tomatoes. I'm going to have a bunch of cherry tomatoes in here as well, so they can just kind of grow up along here and just support them that way. So they're getting all the sun. The support is on this thing. Again, that's the goal eventually here. the first things first, we got to clear everything out. And as I mentioned earlier, this is a Ryan Howe production, so there's a very good possibility that I'll change the plan is going to change midstream. I'm going to say tomorrow is going to be a interesting day too, because I'm going to be picking up some OSB, some plywood, and we're going to be basically making my trailer, adding a flatbed to it, or basically a floor to it, and then sides, so I can for better transport of certain stuff. It's basically that diamond wire that you can put that they typically put across them, and it just isn't working for me for some of the stuff that I want to do. So I've got to get that taken care of as well. Like I said, there's always something to do here. I got my basil. I don't think I've shown you guys my basil lately. Get that. That is these guys are great. They're gonna probably go out. This guy's coming along nicely, my basil. See him right there. They're gonna be really excited to have basically have some direct sunlight. They have not been enjoying the diffused light here once they've gotten those first set of adult leaves up. They've been a little bit cranky about that, to be honest. And you know, I've already got my spot kind of laid out for them. But I got a lot going on here the next few days, because yeah, I've got to get my winter wheat. My winter rye that I have. I've got to get in, mow that all down, mow the whole basically garden down where that's at, and then cover it. I've got some basically black plastic I'm putting over it for 2 to 3 weeks, basically to make sure any seeds that are on there sprout, and also to kill off that winter rye. It did its job as a cover crop. It kept some roots, kept some roots in the ground, which is what I wanted. You know, for that's the idea. With a cover crop, you're literally just trying to make sure it's covered up, so you don't get as many weeds coming in, weed pressure down, but also it keeps roots down there, and it helps to feed your soil. You know, that's ultimately the goal that I have here with this garden, is feeding my soil. This is something we're gonna be transplanting again here. These are some bigger boy. These are slicing tomatoes. I just kind of started these again, so I've got 2 sets that are already fruiting. I've got these that are coming up right now. And they'll be ready to fruit probably in the next month. And then I've got all my San Marzanos and my other cherries. They'll be ready to fruit in 2.5 months. So I've kind of got my cycle where, starting, frankly, in the next 3 weeks, I should have a steady stream of ripening tomatoes all the way through summer, even into the fall. Because I plan on making sure to start some more tomatoes, you know, around June, so that they're ripening up in here, you know, around September. You're just going to have, you know, just like I did with my lettuce, you know, constantly starting new lettuce every few weeks. So I've got fresh lettuce, different types coming up. So that's kind of the idea. Once you have your greenhouse up and running, you know, your goal should be to constantly, one, keep stuff going, but also keep stuff in the ground in your garden to feed that soil. That's when your soil really goes bad quickly, is what happens. It'll die off if you're not actively keeping plants in the ground with it. You know, you always want to keep it covered, because that keeps the moisture down in there with not just with the microbes, but you got the worms in there, got your little, you know, those little roly-polies, all sorts of stuff living in there that you have to make sure, you know, it's protected. That's why, you know, open soil, that's why weeds come in so quick. They're designed to come into those areas and get roots down there and feed the soil, prepare for other stuff. Like, that's what they do. That's why they grow so voraciously whenever you have something like that in place. All right, so I had to do, this may be the last time for my poor lemon tree. Had to do a little bit of a little surgery on him here. He did not like the movement and some of the changes that I had in the house. And lemon tree, especially in this area, because it's not the environment they're used to. he got fickle, didn't get enough light. I still got him kicking. My hope is that I'm going to see some stuff start sprouting out here because I do still have a solid green. There is still water getting to us, so fingers crossed my lemon plant will come back. If not, I will grow another one from seed, just like I did with this one, which I literally just got a seed out of a lemon from the grocery store, germinated it 2 years ago, as a matter of fact, and got in there. So that's happened last year with that tree too. It's a little bit of an attitude. So you guys got to check this out, what I've got growing underneath this. When I move this table out of here, it's pretty funny actually when you see it. You guys get a kick out of it, I think. Let's see. Check this out, what I've got growing here. You guys down real quick. You guys can see that or not. Look at this weed that came in. This guy. I was like, man, I got a greenhouse to live in, and we're going to hang out here. I think it's really what he said. So we'll take advantage of that. So let me get you guys back up here. Try to find the best spot for you. Maybe like right here. I'll do the rest of this. You guys can kind of see what I'm doing. As you can tell, this is a completely polished video presentation for you guys. For anybody who hasn't been on the stream before, this is the way we typically go. Okay, so these are dwarf. Again, these are the dwarf sunflowers here, and I don't know if you remember, you saw the difference on the ones that I had previously, but that were still in the smaller pods. They were tiny. They're about half the size. So that's the that's the difference that you can make by just those transplanting that we did. Let them take off like that. So these are going to be great here in a few weeks. Hopefully we'll start getting some flowers out of them. Ooh, luckily I got a good memory because I've got all my plants are all intermixed now. All right, so these are cleomes. These are some flowers that my mom wanted me to start. So these are cleomes. So I got a whole group of these, and the thing is, like, obviously with the greenhouse here, but each one of these cleomes, when they're, from here, add another month to them, they sell for like $9.99 per plant. One of the things I invested in the space for is that I can try to save some cash by being able to do these, in the greenhouse. So we can have that. Oh man, yeah, that's pretty funny. Like every I know I keep saying it, but every single plant's got a lean to it now. Like, oh, the sun's over here. Oh, this is so great. Give me more. All right, now these are zinnias. These are zinnias. I think you're all familiar with zinnias here. Same thing. They're like $4.99 a plant. So my mom isn't going to need this many, but yeah, I'm going to put them all over my garden, all over the house. Anything I can do to convince more pollinators to stop by, we are going to do. So that's kind of the idea here. But like for right now, I'm really happy for all my plants getting out there in the sunshine and whatnot with everything they're dealing with. That little bit of action they're going to have. Oh, this poor guy. Yeah, this is the plant that didn't make it. This is one of the ones we had over Easter, and I mean, it still feels okay, but it's kind of a waxy plant. It did its part. I think it gave up, so it's probably gonna get composted. We'll see. Probably getting composted today. We'll see what happens. See what I feel like. If I want to try to give them one more day, another week to try to make it. So, okay. We're making some headway here, folks. We're getting there, getting good. So with that, if you haven't been by the stream before, feel free to subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you can swing by and see kind of what's going on with everything. So good to hear about your stuff. So, hey, oh, hey, what's going on? Hey, so I'm actually a business coach by trade. I help small, medium-sized businesses actually grow their businesses. But in the afternoons, when I'm done with my client work and everything, I come out to my greenhouse. I come out in my garden, come out in my yard, and just kind of I come live with folks so they can kind of see what I'm doing in and around my homestead here. So a couple days ago, we were working on my tomato trellises. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, Urban? Yeah, appreciate you swinging by, man. It's been a minute, so been busy. So yeah, working out there. I just planted an orchard on the other side of my property there. And like I said, right now we're transitioning my my greenhouse to summertime operations because I think we're done. I should only maybe have 3 or 4 more really cold mornings, and my little heater in here will be just fine. They made it through some pretty cold mornings here, so but they need the direct sunlight. So, anyways, that's what I do, man. I just come on here, do some gardening stuff. I last Friday I was out hunting for morel mushrooms. So everybody came out. We were doing morel mushrooms, and we were talking, kind of showing people what that looks like. So that's kind of what we do here, Once we just hang out and chill out. So, hey, Urban, how are your tomatoes coming along? You got some? Y'all got them? Have you started your transplanting on those? Or are they still that size? I know you were transplanting some stuff. Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. Hey, if you go to Reddit, 777, I mentioned this too, but if you go to Reddit, you'll find SBG Life I've set up my own like little Reddit or subreddit there. Go ahead and post your pictures. I'd love to see them. So that way I can come check them out. And then, I plan on having some of these live streams to where frost last 2 nights, my cabbage looking limp. Yeah, I've got I had some frost come through on my lettuce and some other stuff the other day. They kind of limped, but they're back up and living their best life now. They're like I said, it got to harden them off one way or the other. Either they're going to make it or they weren't. But yeah, go check out the subreddit and just post your pictures there, or your stuff that you got. I'd love to see it. It's like, I love sharing with you guys what I have going on, but equally, I'd love to be able to see some of the stuff you guys have going too. So, but yeah, that so that day that we had uber cold temperatures down here, my heater kicked off, it popped the breaker on the GFC over here for the exterior one. So it's like 3 a.m. I got up for some water, and I was like, look, I said, well, let me just go check the temperatures because I knew it was going to be cold. I look over and it's like 26 in the greenhouse. I'm like, uh-oh, something happened. So I was able to kick it back on. Got everybody back up to around 40, but we did have a little browning around the edges here for some of the more delicate stuff I got in here, but everybody made it. That's what I was hoping. That's what I was looking for. But it's not the worst thing in the world. So yeah. But today, I'll tell you, today was a good day. I had some. I didn't do my morning small business news broadcast like I normally do today. I had some client calls and also had some calls with some other business coaches just to check in with them. But I did do my Facebook, the Facebook, the small business news, and it was great. I got to do research on like one of my more favorite topics. I like marketing. It's always been one thing I've really enjoyed. I'm a logistician by trade, but we were looking into lead magnets. I was just basically going through and doing research for some of my clients on lead magnets. And, those things when you go to a website, you got to fill out like a form, to get something or whatever, those type of things. It's pretty interesting to go through that. So, but it was a good day today. I got to help out some new business coaches to help their practice as well. I always enjoy helping people like that. And mainly just because I know the benefit of having what I do is like, and how when we finally get in with a company and help them start doing better, just the difference we make. So just from a, wanting as much goodness in the world as I can side of it. So, all right. Well, anyways, here you go. I got pretty much everything out. Let's go check out. Let's go for a little walk. Check out. So here's everything basically out of the greenhouse. You can see everything we got there. So I got my snake plants and get everybody just kind of living their best life there. But yeah, you can see my marigolds, they immediately turned up towards the sun. They're like, Oh, we're hungry. Give us the food. That's too funny. All right. Let me move these shelves out of here. Yeah, no. So, but yeah, it's been crazy. This time of year too is nuts, isn't it? With the weather, the way that we're just go from like, it'll be 75 out today, and then, it'll be 40. But I mean, we had it almost 80 that one day, and then like the next day we were down. It's again that high frost day. It's just wild how quickly everything freezes. I mean, I know it's that time of year, but still, it's just wild. Keeps you on your toes. Yeah, for those that also anybody that was on here for the last time I turned my compost, just to give you an example kind of where it was at, let's say that this was the top of the compost that we had here. We're already down here now, like how much it's in basically 5 days, how much it's actually all that heat and the moisture has been wicked off, and those, all little microbes have been chowing down. Just checked the other day and I was like, oh, they're gone. All right. Put some of this stuff over here. Try to organize this the best I can out here. So I come and sweep all this up, clear all this out. But yeah, you can see we're in here. This is, like I said, it's a little bittersweet. Obviously getting all of the insulation out, and this has been kind of my hangout for during the winter months to get me through, and it's time for it to kind of grow up, to make the change. A little bittersweet, but it's good stuff. It means all the real work's getting ready to start. Yeah, if you guys are curious too about how I built these shelves and set them up, I have a video for them too. If you go look, there's actually one for building these shelves out. It's a pretty simple design. And I say the biggest thing is I just use studs. I don't use 2x4s, because you see a lot of stuff they tell you to use 2x4s for these builds, but they cost more. Just get studs, 2x3s, and you'll save a ton. Where'd that trash go? There it is. Throw this stuff in the trash. So you guys got any plans for the weekend? I mean, I've got stuff. You hop on here, you're going to be able to see. I'm going to be working on my trailer. I'll show you guys my trailer. I think you've seen it before. Just your standard ones that you get here, a little 5x8 trailer. I'm going to be going through and tomorrow, more than likely tomorrow, we're going to go pick up some OSB. We're going to, and then I'm going to so I can get the floor and then also the sides taken care of. So I can, I got a bunch of mulch I have to get further around the property, and for the garden as well too. So a bunch of mulch. You guys got to kind of see how I go through and do that. Pretty straightforward, lots of work. But yeah, it's been oh, what a great day though. What a great day. I think we got more rain coming in tonight, I think. So we're in that time of year too where it's like every 3 days we're just gonna get dumped on with some rain. So which isn't terrible. It's a good, it's good prime in the soil. And like I mentioned, my uncle, they've got their he's been spreading manure the last little bit over the top of getting stuff prepared to get manure on top of the alfalfa that we have growing. Get that ready for first cutting here, which will be in the next, oh shoot, I'd probably say in the next 4 or 5 weeks, easily within the next month. The alfalfa will be ready for its first cutting, so we can get our hay bales, for his longhorns. That'll be good. Look at this guy. This guy out here just living his best life. Almost don't want to cut that guy down. I'm going to, but I almost don't want to. So You know, oh lovely woman, I'm not sure what that language is. I'm sorry, I don't have a translate on here. I'm certain it was something awesome. So I appreciate you swinging by. All right, like I said, I'm saving all this insulation. It's going to be going up next year or later this year when I make the transition into my winter greenhouse, because this year, you know, down here, all along this area here on the sides up here, and even up there, I'm going to be putting OSB down with the styrofoam insulation on the other side of it. And then I'm going to make some modular stuff from up here that I can have and then take down in springtime. But the goal is basically during the winter, going into winter, this section right here, the south-facing roof portion, is the only spot that's going to be not insulated. I mean, it's double paned, so it does keep the heat in, but I'm going to have it set up so I can try to basically maintain a temperature around 50 degrees in here, 40, low 30s overnight, so I can have lettuce and spinach and some other greens just growing in here over winter. But I also want to be able to keep my tomatoes growing in here as long as I can. And as long as tomatoes will keep going, as long as they don't freeze. So if I can keep them to where they're at that, that's great. I don't know if we talked about these before. If you ever do get a greenhouse like this, they've got these little tabs that you can get. See if I can find a good spot where you can see it. They fit into the little grooves that they have in the aluminum here. They just twist right on, so you can hang stuff from them. They're pretty cool. You can get them off of Amazon. Got a whole boatload of them. Okay, where did I put? Oh, right here. Good Lord. All right. So yeah, this is my day today. Well, the rest of my day doing this. I did some pressure washing at the. I did do some pressure washing on my back deck today. Just wanted to get that done. I've got to get the. I'm going to get our outdoor furniture up. Like I said, it's a little chilly out, but damn it, I at least want to be able to pretend sometimes when the wind isn't blowing like this that it's warm enough to be kind of summertime around here. You know what I mean? So hopefully this stuff isn't too loud and annoying on the microphone either. So I apologize if it's hella annoying at the moment. It's not the plan. Okay. But yeah, that went. But of course, when I break out my pressure washer, what happens? One of my O-rings in the gun itself, it split. Look, and it's been 3 years with that one, so there's probably some dry rot that happens. The O-rings needed to be replaced anyways, I'm sure. So when I'm going to pick up OSB and other stuff tomorrow, swing by and pick up an O-ring kit for my pressure washer. Might as well replace all those and re-grease those too. Oh, and then what else did I do? Oh yeah, today also I've got my oldest daughter. She lives out in California, and so I basically bought tickets for my wife and I and my other daughter who lives in Maine to go out to. We're all going to go out to California in September. Go visit her husband, and go see grandbaby. Go see our little grandbaby. So that's going to be fun. I mean, I keep telling myself that, but no, it's gonna be good to see everybody. It's been a long time since we've had the whole crew together under one roof. So, it's just the little things there. And my oldest, she's married to a military guy, and being prior military, you just you understand that's the way it's gonna be, especially with that lifestyle. You're not gonna see him as often as you'd like. We try to see each other when we can, but it's just that separation piece. They are, literally on the other side of the continent from my, the sisters are, and we're basically there on the other side, being up here in Michigan. So, oh man, this is all right. This is good stuff. Good day today. So. Trying to think here. Next up on the list here, I got to, as far as getting stuff planted again, I've got my tomatoes, cucumbers are going, I've got zucchini going, Those look good. The yeah, Urban, yeah, I'll show you the zucchinis have just gotten, they're just getting ignorant now. They're starting to get real big. The other piece I was going to be getting there. But then it's, you know, as I'm basically killing everything off here over the next, you know, 3 weeks or so, is, you know, is recovering stuff up and getting ready to replant again. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff I got to start thinking about what I want to get in the ground, get it organized. So I'm going to go back to my notes that I have there. Just double check with my Farmer's Almanac to make sure I'm not jumping the gun too much. But every weather thing I see right now is that we are supposed to be, you know, an overly warm May. So I don't really want to miss out on that part of that growing season if I can help it. Because, you know, we have, if it decides it wants to be a cool, like if it wants to be a cooler fall where it gets cold quicker, then we're going to be, you know, there's a good possibility I can easily miss out on some, you know, not get a full growing season in here. And that's not what we're shooting for here. You know what I mean? We want to take full advantage of that stuff. So, let's see. Yeah, this is coming along all right. All right. That's the other reason, like with these shelving, that's why I made them. They're all exactly the same size here, so that they're modular. So I can do exactly what I'm doing right now. I put them where I need them when I need them, and then we need to move them again. Easy enough to move. You know, they're not that heavy, especially since they've got cattle wire for the shelving themselves. So again, I appreciate everybody who's stopping by today to chat. Again, Ryan Howe. I'm just out here in the afternoons in my garden. Got a few folks hanging out with us here. You know, we talk gardening and taking care of the homestead, different things like that. So, and like today is a transition day. We're moving around. Hello, hey, what's happening there? Was that the paper? Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Is this your first time by one of our streams? If so, you're in luck today. We got a few folks on here that are regulars, but yeah, we're doing some transition stuff here in the greenhouse, which is, this stuff's always fun. Basically reconfiguring everything, and like right now, again, taking down my insulation from the winter, because it's basically, yeah, it's that time. It's got to be summertime-ish here. Oh, one other thing too, just a best practice when you guys eventually get your greenhouse and you have something like that, if you're able to. So these are the temperature gauge. This is the temperature gauge that I have for out here. I have two. So I have one on one side of the greenhouse and one on the other, just as backup in case one of them, the battery dies on one of them. You never want to lose, you know, never want to be in the position where you lose track of your, what the temperatures are in your greenhouse. So, you know, best practice there is make sure that you've got some sort of you know, backup temperature gauges or something. So this guy does not want to be there. Maybe this one will. Wait, there we go. Hang this guy back up. Twist. There we go. All set. There. Good to go. All right. As I was saying. But yeah, no, it's but anyways, like I say, I've got about 3/4 of the insulation down. And if you want to see how I did this with the insulation, again, there's a video on my YouTube page. You go look, it'll say how to basically run insulation. I think it's a green, if I remember correctly, it's a green thumbnail with me holding up a thing of bubble wrap. I think the title says it's a wrap, if I remember correctly. So it's how to basically do the insulation in this thing. And then your orange plant grows small fruit. Do you have a navel orange? You sure? Is it a navel orange? Or the other thing is, when it comes to that, especially when it comes to citrus plants, you got to make sure that your soil is right, that they're getting the right amount of water and a ridiculous amount of sunlight. Those are going to be your main things there when it comes to the size of your fruits and stuff. But if you got navel orange, that's going to be it, making sure that your soil is the right, because it's not, you don't use typical potting potting mix with your with citrus trees. They've got their own little special mix, and you can go on to any number of websites and see what that mix needs to look like to make sure you got that. That is, unless you have a mandarin orange tree, then you would have small fruit, because mandarin oranges are small. I don't know. I'm assuming you mean you got navel oranges that you're growing. Okay, let's get this guy. Whee! I don't know, Urban, have you ever done any citrus fruits? Like saying I'm doing stuff, I've got my lemon tree that obviously I'm messing around with, but when I was in Guam and stuff, we had stuff in the ground, but obviously the soil was a lot different there than it is here. So I don't know. Sure if Urban's done anything with any citrus plants or not. But yeah, welcome everybody. Working in the greenhouse today. A lot of goodness here. Getting this thing ready for my transitioning over to summertime operations for the greenhouse. I've got most of my springtime stuff. The early planters are up, and we'll take a look at them in a second here. Well, we're basically clearing everything out of here, so I can come in and give this a good sweep, and get it cleared off, and so then we can get started with my get everything kind of rearranged here, so we can take full advantage of all this southward facing sunlight. So other thing too is, yeah, but again, as far as that goes, paper, that's all I can tell you is check your soil, check how much you're watering, and double check your sunlight. That's really going to be the big takeaways for your citrus, from my understanding. You get those things right, they tend to take care of themselves, was my understanding. We'll do that later. That'll be next. I want to get this stuff off. I am notorious for getting distracted on stuff. If you guys have spent any time on stream, if I get anything that even looks like a bright shiny object, I'm gonna veer off course. To grow a little bit fast too. As far as the, oh, okay, all right, yeah. A lot of it really just depends. Where are you at, paper? Like, where do you live? I'm gonna tell you, a lot of it has to do with how much sunlight they get. That's why my lemon tree, basically half dies every year and comes back to life, because it doesn't get enough sunlight. So, okay, so in Indonesia, so you get plenty of sunlight. You've got the right soil, obviously. Where you're at, you got it's acidic. You got that red soil too. Yeah, I would just be looking at, really does. So if you got the right soil, I'd just be looking at the water. And you have it potted, I'm assuming. Oh, kumquats be nice too. Yeah, I get you there. So paper, is it do you have it potted, or is it in the yard? That's what I need to see now, because if it's in the yard, there could be a whole host of things that are keeping it there, and I have a couple ideas. Let's see. Yeah, so paper, you can tell me if it's in a pot or if it's in your yard, because if it's in your yard, when I have a thought. If it's in your pot, I definitely have a different thought. So I just want to make sure before I answer. All right. That's the thing with you, Urban. You're always finding those unique things to grow. It's one thing. It's always never 100% sure what you're going to be wanting to grow there. You always try to grow something unique, which is cool. Isn't that great that we got the opportunity to just kind of give it a try with all these different types of plants and everything? Plants and vegetables. We can just kind of give it a try. See what works, see what doesn't. So I was telling 777 and everyone there, it'd be really great if just. I love, if we had everybody was able to just grow some herbs, not, not the herb, although if you want to do that, depending on your state, it's fine. But yeah, just be able to grow some herbs, grow a few tomatoes, just give give it a try with everything you can. You'd be amazed at what you can actually grow. You know, like I said, I got my thyme plant, my little shrub out there. It's been living its best life out there now for over a year. And, you know, most people wouldn't think of actually trying to grow thyme around here, but it's the perfect environment around here to grow thyme. So, oh, this is looking great. Oh man, we are ever cooking with gas now. Get this guy here. Let me keep this right over here for right now. All right. Oh, you guys will like this. So I've got lilac trees, bushes in my backyard. So when I got this property, it came with a whole bunch of stuff that was already planted from trees and everything. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be propagating lilac bushes this year because I've got a whole bunch of sprouts that are down there. But I've got rooting compound. I'm going to be giving that a try this year. See how that goes. I think that'll be pretty cool. You can see how messy I was with all of my potting soil right now too. Oh, pawpaw, they grow slow. That tree is going to be, if I have fruit in the next 10 years, I would be shocked. You know, I expect that's a decade-long commitment to those trees just to be able to get some pawpaws. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm thinking with that. Yeah, and the thing is, it's what cracks me up. So with the pawpaws, that it's the flavor and the flavor profile and texture is something that I would have expected out of the tropic, like would be growing in, like when I lived in Guam. That's the type of tree, at least the fruit is what I would expect to be getting when I lived in Guam. So to have that be, you know, something here in America is pretty wild. To have those pawpaws here around the Great Lakes. And the thing is, the vast majority of people in the Great Lakes around this region never had a pawpaw, never eaten them. And I don't know why, because they're pretty darn good. So I tell you, when I was in Guam, we had right outside my. Why yours? Again, just depends what kind of. Again, it's probably just a different species, to be honest, because mine don't. Mine grow. They grow closer to. They like in line with apple trees that we hear. They take a while to go, especially because of the seasons we have. You know, because our growing season here is, you know, we might have a solid 7 months, 6 months of growing season, then they go dormant, and then they come up again. So, and from where my pawpaws I have right now, it's this tall, like just here. I'm almost 6 foot. You know, it's about 5 foot tall. So that's one of the reasons it's going to take a while for it to get there. You can buy, you know, trees that are much more fully developed. Kind of like with my pear trees, my apple trees. Those will be about 5 years before I get any fruit on those for those reasons. But a lot of it just has to do. We have our, you know, especially in this environment, our growing season is tiny. Here in Michigan, the only reason that I'm able to even have stuff like right now, this is why I have to come in here for all my stuff. I loved it in Guam. Heck, I could sow seeds anytime and I was off to the races to grow whatever I wanted. It was nice. But yeah, all right, so we're almost there. I just got to get this last shelf moved out of here so I can get this last bit done. Get this organized. Get this swept out, kind of clean off here on the sides. So yeah, if you're just joining us here, thanks for stopping by the stream. Definitely appreciate it. Again, what I do here is I come in the afternoons, and again, if you give me a subscribe, hit the notification bell, you'll know whenever I come out here and I go live, because I typically go live in the afternoons when I'm working out in my garden or out here in the greenhouse, just working on stuff, where we get together and we get to have cool conversations. Like, and Paper and I were sitting here having conversations about the growing differences between us, northern Michigan, and Indonesia. So, you know, it's pretty cool. I enjoy it. So yeah, so hopefully I get a chance to earn your subscription today. You know, all I'm doing here right now is, previously we had everything in here. Now I've just been moving it out, get it organized out here. Then we're going to move everything back in, but opposite. Should be pretty cool. That means we're in summertime mode. Dun dun dun. Everything will be growing like crazy. That's what we want. Okay, get this guy out of here. Sweep that up back in. This I'm gonna put right here for right now. Stay. All right. More labels. Got some sticks here. Cool. All right, let me go grab my broom. Start doing some sweeping. Yeah, and then I got some, once we get this all set, I've got transplanting to do too. Got a full slate today. Got everything to do. Where did my broom go? Nope. Where did my broom go? That's interesting. Yeah, well, let me go get my broom. I thought I had it out here. 1 second, folks. I'll be right back. I'm gonna run into the garage and go get my broom. Hopefully, yeah, we'll be good to go. 1 second. All right, just about back, folks. Yeah, that's weird. My broom is missing. Got to get the rest of this insulation down, but yeah, it's weird. My deck brush I normally use out here. Oh, so you get like 1 foot to 2 foot a month. Wow, that's some growth there. Yeah, we're nowhere near that here. So obviously a different species. So yeah, that's probably just it. It's probably just a different species. So I guess the question I would ask you then, so when I do my pawpaws here that I have, our pawpaws, they taste like a mixture of banana and custard. Is that how you describe the flavor of your pawpaw? Is that what they kind of taste like? A little banana? They have a banana taste, but then a custard taste as well. There we go. All right, making headway here. And there is a huge difference with the insulation when there's not, and how quickly it heats up. So, oh, looks like we lost everybody. Got a few folks there, but again, yeah, just there you go. That's the last of the insulation. We'll clean up the window just a little bit there. All right, the last minute cleaning here. Yeah, all right. So with the window open, this here, we're maintaining a solid 73 degrees in here right now. That's not too shabby at all. I will take that all day and twice on Sunday. Every day and twice on Sunday, not all day. Fun. Okay, not sure why I messed that up. Oh well. Okay. Yeah, making good progress here. Let's get this. So this guy is about ready to have a day. Let's help him along. Gotta clean up my one little random plant down here. Or along the side here, I got the whole thing. Don't really want to. Should just run the edger, but I'll just nip all these guys. I'm not worried about the grass. And these guys. Nope. There we go. We'll throw these in the compost real quick. Get to sweeping. All right, so let's get some of this stuff swept up here and get this organized a bit. So again, if y'all just joining, welcome to Old Man cleaning his greenhouse. Cleaning and reorganizing his greenhouse. I said up until a little bit ago, we had a ton of, let's do this here. I help with the air situation here a little bit. There we go. Put this here. This guy out. There we go. Up until a few minutes ago, we had insulation basically covering every surface here. That's gone now. For the most part, the mornings, you know, our morning, we're gonna have a couple days where we're gonna be below freezing more than likely still. Maybe 4 or 5 would be my guess. But my greenhouse heater will be able to keep up with that, so no worries there. No concerns on my part about that. So we can just kind of let everybody get used to as much direct sunlight as they can handle right now. Like that's the plan. All right. Let's scoop all this stuff I don't want necessarily thrown away like that. Excuse me. Then all right. There goes that. All right. There we go. I gotta figure out what happened to my my other broom, because I had a small broom that was in here, and in typical Ryan fashion, it up and disappeared on me. So okay. So anyways, so again, the overall of the greenhouse again, just a reminder. So it's 6 by a little over 6, like 6.5 by 16 in total. That's what my measurements are here. So the way I'm setting this up is that I can have basically, I'm going to move all the shelves that I had over on this side with all the stuff that was working on germinating. It's all germinated, and I want to get a metric ton of sunlight on it. It's all going up here on the south side. Here, my garden enclosure here. You can see my winter riots up. You can see some of the Brussels sprouts and other stuff I have, but I want as much sunlight on that as I can over the next month before all of these folks out here make their way out to get planted. I mean, some of them are going to make their way out, one or the other. The cucumbers aren't. I'm going to keep the cucumbers in here I'm going to start some out there. I'm going to start another set and move them. So, oh, hello. So anyways, that's the plan. So now, basically just reverse order of everything I did. I'm going to bring stuff back in here. Just kind of reset up. I think I'm going to go hit the hose real quick and get some water before I get too far into this. I want to make sure, hydrate or die, right, folks? If you aren't hydrating, you're basically one step away from a bad day. So let me get a little water real quick. All right, that was very refreshing. All right. There's that. Next step was going to be, I think these guys were in the corner, but we'll put them in the opposite corner this time. This is right here. All right, so there's that. That guy there. So yeah, this is basically opposite time now of what I had, which is going to be just all right. So I can prop, excuse me, prop these up, level this off a little bit better. Right here. There we go. Too much. Let me double this up. Redouble this. Sorry if that was loud, guys. Sorry about that. I think that's good right there. Okay. Cool. Now looking for perfectly level, mostly level gets the job done. You know what I mean? Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. Okay. Next, maybe this one. Oh yeah. This is going to be all right. Yes, all these, same thing, you're going to need to level up a little bit. So with this, just so you guys know, if you didn't see the video when I built this, or I put the floor in here, so I built it to make sure, basically where I have it sloped this way. I want it sloped down because that's the way that my basically my entire yard and all the water drains off of there. So the idea is to make sure that that is a thing. It's no real issues there. 1 second. Okay. So that's why you see it's off a little bit, and I have to level off the shelving there. That was intentional. Okay. So it's also with this. So this is gonna be nice. It's gonna have these things set up here, which will be great. So I've got full sunlight all day just hitting these guys, which is gonna be fantastic. Exactly what I want. Just 100% the goal. In one here, put you there. Let's see, where's my? Okay, this one's just got that one little piece it needs, which is fine. I have a thin little piece I can put. It's too thick. What if I got a thinner something I can just put under there? So I had everything basically leveled off-ish on the last one. So now it's just a matter of leveling this guy off, which is going to be a thing, but it's okay. It's all part of the fun. There you go. Perfect. Look at that. Like it was meant to be. What do we got here? Why is it best to plant them on top of the pot instead of at the bottom, since potato grows from the tuber? So that's a good question. So what ends up happening is the plant's got two different lives, basically the way it grows. Where you see the plant growing out of there, that tuber, it's going to send up another plant that grows on top of it, and then it sends down. Basically, once the flower does its thing, it comes down and it's going to be making more tubers off of there. So when you put it on the top, it's perfectly fine because it's basically going to grow up and then send down for more tubers. If you have it too far down, now it's stressing the plant out how much it's got to come up and then come back down. So basically what you're doing is you're saving it energy, and more energy that it can use towards making more potatoes. Does that help? But with that, if you're growing potatoes, potatoes are one of those plants where it's fun to get it to grow, but they're so cheap. We just I gotta tell folks, you can learn how to do them. It's if you want to do them, they're fun, but if you're doing them for food, it's so much cheaper just to pick them up at the store. And sorry, I got my neighbor just went by, waved at me. But anyway, that's why you do it. Hopefully that makes sense. The other piece is you got to make sure your soil. Make sure that your soil, your acidity is correct, and also that its makeup is correct too. It obviously can't be too compact. It's got to be a looser type soil so that the tubers can get in and do what they need to do. But no, that's a good question. I know the first time I saw that dude from Australia on his YouTube channel, where he put all those potatoes, basically the seed potatoes, on top of his raised garden bed. I think you may have, I don't know if you've seen that one, or I can't remember the guy's name, but he's on top of his raised garden bed, and then he just put straw on top of it. And then later, he went and checked on it a few months later, and lo and behold, he had a boatload of potatoes. I thought that was pretty wild. And that was the explanation that when I looked at some of the forums, they were saying it saved a whole bunch of energy for the plants by doing it that way. But yeah, when we were in when I was in Maine, when I worked there before I moved back here to Michigan, I was the director of business operations for a chain of donut stores, restaurants, where we served potato donuts. So we had, and they were all from Maine. They had to be as part of the the branding, but also just make sure we're taking care of local. I thought that was so wild that, I guess potato donuts were a thing for a while. They just they take a little bit more work than the regular yeast ones, so I think that's why people kind of switched to them. All right, there's that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, man. I wish I had a better answer for you, but that's what I've seen. A couple times I've tried potatoes; they didn't turn out well, and it wasn't something I was looking to master. Which is, just one of those things. So, but here, and I'm not looking to master any of these things here. This is all testing for me, a lot of it, and also just finding ways to try to save some money, especially on the flower front. That's the one where I'm definitely seeing where I'm saving money with flowers right now. If you stick around for a second, I appreciate you coming by. You'll see I've got this epic amount of, I'm actually going to put them out here right now. Actually, I need to put some stuff over here first. Get some pots in right there. I'm trying to think, all these flowers that I got. My mom wanted me to do these cleomes and these zinnias. There's so many. Let me get these pots in there real quick. These are the ones I want. These are the ones. I think these should fit. Get you guys right there. And when I was designing these, basically the setup for these, the shelving, it was so that I could store pots in the corner over there, like the ones, and then a whole other set of them just over here too, with the additional shelves. So it's really cool watching this all kind of come together after, you know, piecing it together like this. All right, let's get. I'm gonna need these guys. I'm gonna need those guys. So they just need to stay put. Let's go ahead and get my. Let's put the Cleomes over there this time. All right, so get these guys back in. This is the Cleomes that my mom wanted me to do. Again, type of flower that she wanted. Not really. No, I looked them up once, kind of to see what they look like. I wasn't really familiar with them, but flowers are definitely more her thing. My mom, she's always had these amazing. Her yard has always just been amazing with the number of flowers and stuff that she has. So we help her out because I know she spends a lot of money on those. Yeah, no, wait till you see these this next stuff here. I got these excuse me. Ooh, here we go. I got these zinnias here. It's the next one she wanted me to do a whole bunch of these. And these zinnias, you know, they're like $4.99 each one of these little cells that they got in here. So I was pretty excited to see that I was able to get these guys to come up. You know, Frost got a couple of them when the temperature dropped there a little bit, but beyond that, they're all doing pretty good. And again, little Frost ain't gonna, you know, if they didn't make it through a little bit of frost, it is what it is, you know. But they all, for the most part, did well. Now for storage underneath there, it's gonna be this guy. But oh, can't have that. Sorry, I had one of my the wind almost got some of my insulation there. Okay, but I was too quick on my feet. So you guys are gonna get a chance here. I've got we're gonna do some repotting, transplanting, repotting of tomatoes here in a little bit. I've got some tomatoes I've got to transplant, and then I think the basils are good. Okay, so I want to work on getting the next stuff in here. All right, so let's work on getting that next setup going. Oof, man, that's going to happen a few times today. So one thing, I do hit my head coming in this place quite a bit. It's oh, sorry about this, guys. I got to get on a phone call. All right, so back now. Sorry about that. I had a phone call. I'm probably gonna have to get off here in a little bit. I got a client calling me, so I'm gonna try to stay with you guys as long as I can. But as always, client work takes priority. So just let's see how much I can get done before they call back. Okay, it seems like it's one of those little things. But I appreciate y'all hanging out with me as long as you did here today. This has been fun. I enjoyed this. We've made some significant gains here. Do I need? Let me think here. Those are going to go down there. I want these guys up more, getting more sunlight. So I want these are my, I've got my petunias here, and these are impatiens. These impatiens are really cool. Both of these are meant to be in hanging baskets, both sets of these. So, you know, that's pretty cool. I'm excited to be able to have them. I do get this for my, yeah, I do have hanging baskets all over the place. So to be able to have them here versus paying the exorbitant amount of money that you have to pay for hanging baskets around here for the plants farm, that's a nice take, nice W as far as I'm concerned. Let's get this next guy up here. Yeah. You right there. You guys. You're running out of space on me. Don't have no roots are coming down yet, so still growing. All right. Well, hey, I'm going to go ahead. I just got to know they're going to be calling back. So, hey, thanks everybody for swinging by today. It was awesome. It was good to see you all. Take care, and I will see you next time.